you're a legendary, pretty legendary figure on the left Twitter scene. Fucking what is it? What are the kids calling it now? The kind of shit that we're in, the post left, the dirtbag left.
They call it post left. Yeah, that's the brand.
Is there a difference? Is there a difference between the dirtbag left and the post left?
Yeah. Well, okay. I guess the dirtbag thing started with Chapo and like
Amber Ali Frost. Yeah.
Right. So that was like they were having like media profiles in like the New Yorker and shit like that. So like I think that was like 2017 or something after Bernie's first loss. I think they were getting like some major media profile, and I think they were calling themselves dirtbag, and they were getting this reputation among all the like shit libs of being like, irreverent or whatever. The post left thing is something that they're like underlings, like they're like like the Jacobin people that orbit around their scene. Like that's something they came up with as sort of like a branding thing, categorization thing for anybody who was basically anybody who's critical of the left as a project. That is who falls under it. And people, I guess the post thing is supposed to be people who were previously identifying with the left. So
right. Yeah, because the dirtbag thing was like, oh, anyone who was like, anti-Hillary in 2016.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you're a dirtbag leftist. You
Bernie
support
bro.
Bernie. Yeah, you're a Bernie bro or whatever.
Yep.
And then it kind of became this thing of like, oh, even Chapo or libs, even the most dirtbag, like crazy guys, they were like looked at as like, oh, I remember even back then, 2017-ish or whatever, around that, the 2016 fucking election, everything like that. I remember even then, people saying that the Bernie people are like, the fucking Red Brown Alliance shit. I remember them saying that shit even then, before Amy Therese, Amy Therese came around and shit like that. And then, the fucking Red Scare, Michael Tracy, those were kind of years down the line after the election is when that kind of, the whole Red Brown Alliance thing came about. But,
yeah, that's true. Even the Obama boys, that was a thing like in the media before.
The Obama
Bernie.
boys.
Yeah, that was like a thing where they were saying like, oh, these guys are like, because Hillary was supposed to be the front runner. That was their pick.
Right,
she was
right.
Like, yeah, she was like poised for it for like years of, being in the DNC or whatever and being Clinton's like wife and all that. But then Obama kind of came out of nowhere and just was more popular, and she was super unpopular. And then like they were trying to snuff him out a little bit early, but he had like a lot of like young following, and he kind of posed himself as like an outsider. So like his supporters were like viewed as like, left,
misogynist,
hippie, and exactly, just like Obama bro. And then that translates to the Bernie crowd, and basically anybody who doesn't toe the DNC line gets that you get slapped as a fascist or like a bro or whatever. But
well, that's another crazy thing too. Fucking even after when Bernie dropped out, in the 2020 shit, and whenever we it was pretty clear that Biden was going to be the Democratic nominee, that really split a lot of people too. That was really whenever it became like that hard line of like, okay, are you a liberal? Are you still with Biden? Are you still with the DNC?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you anti the DNC or whatever? That's when it really became like a more of a solidified thing.
Oh yeah.
But no, man, fucking like Amy Therese, she is someone who really fucking was saying a lot of this shit that people were afraid to say or just like didn't really see yet. You know what I mean? Everyone was giving her shit for it. And then now, especially after Biden dropping out, holy shit, I just know for myself, I look back and I'm like, wow, dude, Amy was right about a whole bunch of shit.
Yep.
CRK was right about a whole bunch of shit. You know what I mean? Like, the fucking, the Bernie dropping out shit, that was some really black pilling shit for me because I look back and I'm like, I can't even fucking believe that I called myself a Bernie supporter or even a leftist, you know, at all. You know what I mean? And fucking
yeah,
you know, that's the thing too. Like I run this meme account. It was started really just for advertise the podcast. It's called Drug Hole Gang Meme Account, but it kind of became its own thing or whatever. And it's I think it's like at 3,000 followers now or whatever. I just started it not too long ago. But I post some of the you know, I get all my shit from Twitter, all my memes, but I post a lot of the Chapo Trap House like Democrat memes, like those one that just said Democrat house instead of Chapo Trap House. Anyway, I get a lot of them from Amy, but you know, but dude, people really still don't understand why Chapo are libs. You know, they still are kind of stuck in the 2016 kind of notion of like, oh no, these guys are the crazy dirtbags that are like, you know, anti-establishment or whatever, and they're not really caught up with how, you know, the whole Jacobin thing and how Jacobins actually libs. They're actually fucking funded by a lot of sketchy people. To explain to some of our listeners here, why are Chapo libs? What separates us from Chapo?
Well, yeah, I guess okay. Chapo's sort of like a bellwether of the left in general. So I won't focus specifically on them, but like, yeah, just the left in general was supposed to be this like you said, anti-establishment, pushing against the DNC force. The idea was that they would infiltrate the DNC and
oh my god, that idea is so fucking funny.
Right, in similar way to like Trump coming in and infiltrating the GOP and turning them right to his party,
right,
and they all back to him, right? So that was sort of the idea. I mean, 2016. I mean, I hated Hillary. And I was pretty pissed off at Obama, and I had liked Obama when I was growing up. Like I was like really young, like 13 or something when he first ran. So, you know, Bernie I liked obviously because he was like pretty populist. And then, but you know, even in hindsight, it was kind of a joke because he wanted Warren to run. He didn't want to run. He wanted Warren to run, and then he begged her to run, and then she said no. To leave way for Hillary to just, you know, get coronated basically because she would have no competition. And then Bernie was like, well, somebody's got to go up there and like trying to kind of like drag her left a little bit. So he just went up to there to do that, and he didn't expect to be as popular as he was. It was a similar thing with the Obama thing. I doubt they really expected him to do as well. I mean, Hillary's supposed to be the one, but they don't know that she's so elite that she's repulsive to most people.
Oh, she's hated by most people. Yeah,
that's the problem they have, is that, you know, you ascend to these higher levels and then you get there and you forget that like the things that got you to that level and being birthed in that and around that for so long make you repulsive to most people. So it's like it's a hard thing to pull off. But either way, like, yeah, I like Bernie, but like, yeah, even then you think about it, if he's trying to get Warren in, that's pretty pathetic. And if he's just trying to drag Hillary but still expects her to win, that's also not very anti-establishment. That's not a very anti-establishment sentiment. And it's proven after he loses and he endorses her, right? And Trump had made fun of Bernie for this. He's like, oh, look at him. He's a sellout. He's endorsing Hillary after all that. After all that shit he said about her, about being her being like corrupt and taking these Goldman Sachs fund speeches or whatever. And at the time, I kind of brushed it off, you know. But when I look back, I mean, he's right. He's totally right. I mean, how can you say those things about her and say that she's corrupt and say that, you know, she's working with the elites that are hurting the underclass? How can you say all that and then endorse her? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, right.
So that just dispels the whole notion of infiltrating. It's not really infiltrating. It's just like, hey, can we drag them left? And then in this 2020 cycle, it was very explicit in the messaging. It was like, you know, he never really took any hard shots on Biden, even when it was just one-on-one. He never did. And people were expecting it. And he and I was expecting, and then ultimately he just sort of the left just said, we're going to push them left. And as far as like, I know you're asking specifically about Chapo. Like, look, I mean, there was that clip, I don't know if you heard, of like Menaker saying, he said, what did he say? He said, he was complaining. Trump was like, oh, I might contest the results of the election or whatever. and everybody in the lib media was like, oh my God, he's a dictator. He's a fascist authoritarian dictator. And then he was bringing that up and a bunch of fucked up shit that was going on. And he was just like, well, you know, and people, you know, it's easy to make fun of people who say just vote, but I can't think of anything better. So now let's talk about celebrities. And to me, I mean, I don't know how people say I'm reaching with this, but like, I don't know how anyone else could interpret that any differently. That's a implicit endorsement of Joe Biden of like, yeah, the best thing you can do is vote. Otherwise, who knows what to do? I don't see a better option. There's a whole lot of better options. Just not voting. That's better. And voting Trump is better, which we're seeing now with Biden's administration and all the shit he's doing. So that was pretty damning. I mean, when I was a fan of them, I never thought they'd say some shit like that.
I know, man. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is too, yeah, I mean, when you're looking at how much money they make and how, like, you know, they're like very close with Jacobin. And Jacobin is fucking completely bought out. I mean, do you know the YouTuber Jason Unruh? He's like the Mohawk guy. He's like communist Mohawk guy.
No.
Well, yeah, dude, fucking a while ago, I think he said something about, you know, their ties and like they're funding something with Israel or some shit. He was being called an anti-Semite or some shit. But that was like a while ago. I don't even think anyone took that seriously at all. But Jacobin, you know, they're completely bought, you know, by the Democrats. And Jacobin and Jacobin is completely, you know, tied in with Chapo. So pretty indirectly, Chapo is doing the work, you know, for the Democratic Party.
You remember that Times magazine article where it was like the DSA and major like left activists are meeting with the DNC to secure the results of the election?
Oh my fucking God. Yeah. Was there something like that?
Yeah, it was a Time magazine article where they were just like admitting, they were bragging about how they rigged the election, basically.
Yeah, I mean, the DSA, that's what it is. The DSA, yeah, the DSA, fucking Jacobin, yeah, fucking.
It's the same thing. It's all the same shit.
Yeah, same fucking literal liberal apparatus. The same fucking. No, like literally, that's like no joke. You know what I mean? Like those are literally the same people that are fucking that are funding these kind of institutions or whatever.
And it's like what you said before. Like that's why Amy was right, because Amy had said that a while ago that DSA is just a recruiting arm for the DNC. And I don't know if you saw that tweet where one of these fucks had said like, we're going to be junior partners with the Democrats.
Oh God,
we're trying to be junior partners. So like, you get what I mean? Like she was right about that. She saw that shit early. I didn't want to believe it. I mean,
I didn't want to believe the shit either too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Who wants to? I mean, it's bleak shit because you think that they're the only ones that are pushing for, you know, economic equality. So, because you don't really hear a lot of, you know, that type of talk on the right. I mean, indirectly they get there, but not really explicitly, right? But the left is part of the whole project. So you hope that they mean it. And then, you know, you watch enough times and I mean, look, I mean, at this point, like, I don't know what to say. I mean, to the people who don't see it by now, I think they're in a cult. They're cult brains.
Yeah, it is a cult.
How do you not see it? How many examples do you need to see of these people backstabbing the underclass? How many times do you need to see it and then siding with the DNC and the elite to boost their careers? How many times do people need to see it? It's everywhere. So I mean, I don't know. I couldn't keep lying to myself.
Yeah, well, I mean, my thing is, you know, the left, you know, for the powers that be or whatever, you know, the apparatus of the American government, you know, I mean, it's this is a superpower of the world, the number one superpower of the world, and it's kind of crazy that people think, no, yeah, like there is any kind of elections, there is any kind of like a left. I mean, the left is just a tool, you know, to keep people in place and you know, end up, because no matter what, you know, everybody knows, oh, the Democrats and the Republicans, it's the same shit. You know what I mean? But it's really comes down to culture war bullshit at the end of the day. Oh man, and like fucking the whole thing about Bernie Sanders being a misogynist or whatever with Elizabeth Warren. I mean, literally, like when I look back on some of this shit. But no, another thing about Chapo too was like, one of the reasons what got me really to donate to Bernie's campaign was Chapo. They were really, you know, it's like, I just remember back when I used to listen to them, you know, they were always bragging like, oh yeah, I just dropped I just dropped fucking 5,000 on the Bernie, one of my donations, I just dropped like 5,000 or whatever. And honestly, I thought that was cool too. I mean, I donated a good amount to Bernie, you know what I mean? And then all for this motherfucker to go and just fucking like you said, literally just backstab everybody with the money we just gave this fucking old fuck.
Oh, yeah. That's a great point that I really don't bring up enough. But I mean, that's almost bigger than all the other stuff I said. Really, the money
man,
went to the DNC. I mean, how more literal can it get? You sent money to Bernie through Act Blue, just like BLM. It's through the Act Blue website, and Act Blue is where the Democrats all get their donations from. I remember articles where it was like, "Oh, Bernie is considering giving his donors list up to the Democrats."
Oh yeah, and like the email listings and all that shit.
Yeah, and then you look back in 2016 and you find out he already did that shit.
No, dude, that shit then. This whole thing is a crazy like technocratic communication data psyop. You know what I mean? Do you like the thing is that people don't understand is like how valuable and expensive your data is. Your email, how likely you are to vote for them. Any survey, like so look, have you ever went and phone banked for Bernie when that was a thing?
No, I didn't.
Oh you lucky bastard. Well,
anyway, I've heard stories, yeah.
I was cult pilled enough. I was fucking DNC pilled enough to go and phone bank for this motherfucker. And yeah, no, the thing is like that's what they do, that you go and you call all these fucking people and you get all this data. Cause it's like the thing with social media apps, how they sell your data to marketers, to people, it's like literally like a giant like $1 trillion industry. And that's the same shit with Hillary and with Bernie and shit. They sell your email data and all that shit. So no matter what, if you participated in the Bernie thing at all, you gave them money or you phone banked or participated at all, you've helped the Democratic Party.
Yeah, that's a really great. That's a great point that I also just don't bring up a lot, which is big data. I mean, data is like an asset. It's something that's fought over. I mean, and has big implications in the long term, especially as they get more of a surveillance state going on. I mean, it's a super important thing. It's more than money in some cases in the long term. Yeah, and you're right. I mean, exactly. That's what he gave up. That's what they have. I'm in their fucking system because I donated like 200 or whatever, $200.
Oh, 200. They got you for 200, bro.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. Is like my younger brother, like he, he's like involved in the DSA, and he was like cold calling and doing all that shit. And like, when 2018 came out, he was like, "Oh, Bernie might run again," and I was like, "Nah, man. I don't know. He had his run." And he endorsed Hillary. I don't think he's got a shot in 2020. But 2020 came, and I don't know what it was. Like, there was like this, he was filling up arenas like crazy, and like he had AOC, and like the numbers just looked better. And I was just like, damn, maybe I was wrong. Maybe he could actually, I thought he was going to get rigged out. I thought he had no shot at winning. I thought him winning was impossible to me. And a lot of the Bernie cult people were like, no, he can win this time. I was like, there's no way in hell he can win.
I'll be honest, I kind of maybe thought he could win, yeah.
I was telling people the entire time, every single day, I kept telling them there's zero universe where he wins. Zero. Like, they'll rig him. I mean, they'll kill him if they have to. I mean, if you're really...
They'll kill him, motherfucker,
They'll kill him, yeah. I mean, Adolf Reed had said that. And, like, I mean, it didn't need to get to that because he wasn't that much of a threat. But either way, I mean, it was right after Nevada. And I was just like, damn, man, like, even if he loses, I was just like, I just want to put some money in because, like, I just want to keep this going a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Because, like, it just felt so tight, and it felt pretty hopeful, and it was close. So I put money in just like knowing he would lose anyways, just being like, well, it's still worth the show of force, just to show that, hey, somebody can run without billionaire donations or whatever. So that's why I did it. I knew he was still going to lose, but I did it anyways. It's the same thing with me voting Trump. I voted Trump knowing he was going to lose. I knew he was going to get rigged out, but I did it anyways to, as a symbolic thing. Yeah. No, but you're right. You're right. It went straight to the DNC. It went straight to the reptiles that I hate. So
the reptile elite. No, that was another thing too. Fucking I talking about, the Bernie second time around chances of winning. I mean, well, shit, I kind of thought he'd win, and my only thing, I mean, I still to this day think, okay, no, he would have had a way better chance if he ran his 2020 campaign, the more similarly to how he ran his 2016 campaign,
for sure.
Because if you looked at the 2016 campaign, it was more all about, of course, the working class, and he was that's how he built his image in the first place.
It was less woke.
Yeah, exactly. And then the whole thing was with the Democratic parties. They're like, oh, well, I don't know how the fuck they this is some crazy PSYOP shit. But if you have billions of dollars to turn out this propaganda and, pay people on Twitter like Brooklyn Dad and all these fucking weirdos, like,
right.
you can really build this crazy apparatus of intelligence. Well, fuck, it's not that hard to believe. But, they completely twisted it in which, like, oh, if you're talking about working class, that's for some reason synonymous with white people, even though most black people are working class or most people of color are poor, but they somehow made it seem that I made it to where, like, yeah, if you're talking about working class, you're talking about the white working class, and then ever since then he completely fucking derailed on that and really made it his whole woke thing, and then the identity politics and all that bullshit. I really think that's what fucked his 2020 election was not doing the class issue thing as much as he did last time.
Yeah, that was something I was noticing while it was going on, was that he was more amenable on like Russiagate, impeachment, and woke shit, and open borders, and all this intersectionality, all this stuff that like he wasn't really saying as much of in 2016. And there's two angles to look at that. It's like, oh, well, maybe he'll get a bigger chunk of the DNC voting base, the lib voting base, out by doing this, and maybe that'll be enough to win.
That's such a small but powerful amount of people,
Exactly.
But
that's what I was saying.
Those are the people that are going out and voting, I guess.
No, so, but that's the thing, is like I was saying, like, you go after them, and one, they're never going to support you.
They're never going to support you
because it doesn't matter what you say. There is no amount of liberty you can do to get them, because they have their chosen special people, right? Which is Kamala.
They want you
to
abide by their rules anyway, even if they're not going to support you.
Yeah, and you had to have been born in that. You had to have been groomed like Kamala and all these fucking reptiles. You got to be pumped out of the machine, born for it. Like you have to. If you ever cross them at any degree, you're an outcast. There's no much. You can grovel back and like tap dance for them all you want, but I mean they're not going to fully. They're going to remember and not fully accept you. So it's pointless. And the other thing is you're missing out on a huge chunk of people outside of the DNC base that you could be bringing in, that are new voters, that are disaffected people,
which I think is the majority of the people.
Absolutely. Yeah, my brother was doing cold calls in like Iowa before the primary, and they were saying like, we like Bernie, but we don't trust that he can do this shit. We don't think he's serious about it.
He's a fucking Democrat.
Exactly.
He works with that's the same fucking people. Yeah, that's been fucking us for the last, 3 decades.
Yeah, and you were bringing up the Brooklyn Dad thing being paid by the DNC.
Oh man,
I just want to say too, like,
crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's to be expected. Like, I ignore that guy because I ignore a lot of shit libs because it's just like it's too easy. My mind is sort of shifted. Like,
I look at it as I'm like a researcher. I like to research these fucking alien fucking reptiles.
No, there's value in it for sure. It's just like how like getting mad about neocons is kind of grew tired because it's like, all right, they suck. Everybody knows they suck. Like, why am I spending time mad at them? I should be more mad about these neolibs because they pretend to be better and they suck. And then you spend time and you realize, like, yeah, but everybody hates them. Everybody knows they're horrible. Like, their act isn't even that good. So then I move from that to like the left. Like, the left is the next thing. Like, the left, the neocons and the neolibs are pretty much all the same to me. And the left, that's why I don't really identify myself as a leftist. And like,
I don't need it. I don't anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of people were pushed away from this last cycle. But like, yeah, I mean, the leftists, I feel like that's the better target now because they're the ones that pretend to be better, but they're not. So I mean, picking on neolibs like Brooklyn Dad and all them, like, is too easy. You know what I mean? And even the left is starting to feel a little too easy. Like, cause it's just everybody knows they suck. But the thing about him getting money from the DNC is, you know, I was making the point, like, what's to make people not think that they're not funding some of these leftists? Because a lot of leftists were pushing for Biden hard. You know what I mean? Like, Vouch and all these motherfuckers.
Oh,
and like,
man,
Chapo was more savvy, like that end of the left that's more like edgy or whatever. Like, they were savvy enough not to be too explicit about it because they know it would dead their credibility. So they were way more subtle, like the Menaker thing of, like, you know, what he said. And honestly, those guys, like, none of them really upset me that much. I mean, Virgil, I'm sure he was a little bit more explicit. I don't really know. But like Chrisman, like, he aggravates me because I actually liked Chrisman.
Yeah, he was the guy out of all of them that I thought was slightly cool.
Exactly. And he irks me the most about it because, yeah, he had said in a live stream, in one of his vlogs or whatever, that he was like, I'm happy that Biden won.
Oh God!
And he was like, you know, because
did he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Somebody showed it to me.
That's what everyone told me. Because I would always talk shit. I'd be like, dude, you know, because I would say the same shit. I'm like, maybe they're not saying it explicitly, but they're kind of hinting at it, you know. And they never came out and just said, "Oh, Biden," you know, like the way we're saying it. You know what I mean? But then everyone would come to me and they'd be like, no, bro, they're not pro Biden. They've never said that. And then, but no, you're telling me now he did say that he is he's happy Biden won.
Yeah,
correct?
In our group chat, somebody had sent it and showed me some clip of like one of his vlogs. I don't watch them, but like somebody had sent me a clip of one of them, and he was just like, "Yeah, I'm glad." This was right after the election. Like, I'm glad that he won because I don't like the asshole party. The Republicans are the asshole party, and yeah. He's just like, "Oh yeah, I mean, do I like the Democrats? No, but I don't want the assholes to win. Simple as that."
I mean, that's another thing too. Do you see how much money these guys make on Patreon?
Oh yeah,
it's unfucking believable. I still kind of just sit back and I'm like, what is going on here?
You don't get that type of money and like clout in the media.
You don't get
industry.
that kind of money saying, you know, Trump's the lesser of two evils.
No,
you're not going to be having.
Of course not. Of course not. Of course, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly.
That's another thing I want to give you credit to, bro. Is fucking, you know, even when Biden dropped out and I was really getting black pilled and anti-liberal, I wasn't yet ready to. Even though I know deep in my mind, I'm looking at the shit here. And it's just such a powerful thing. I still couldn't admit that, no, Biden is so fucked. Trump is probably literally better than him. And you were one of the fucking only people that I was looking at on my fucking Twitter here that is even saying this shit. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it, man, because I went out there alone. Like, I died on that hill.
Bro. I
was going all hard every week on that shit.
I know.
And I had to go hard because, well, my first realization was like, all right, well, so now it's Trump Biden. I was like, they're probably gonna rig Trump out, and I'm like, they'll probably rig him out. But in my mind, I was still like, they both suck. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, wait, if they're gonna rig him out, that means one of them has more power. And then the more I thought about it, like, well, why do they want to rig him out? Oh, well, he's not going along with the wars. He's not going along with the trade deals.
Yeah.
And the more I thought about it,
even George Bush hates Trump. Even the establishment Republican hates Trump.
Right. You know? All the Bush people were moving. The former Bush staffers were endorsing Biden. And I was just like, I was just like, the more I thought about it, I was like, damn, he's probably better. He's probably like less likely to get us into war and trade deals. He's probably, I mean, the evidence is there based on his presidency. That's probably why they're working so hard to get him out.
Exactly. Whoever freaks the establishment out the most or whoever scares them the most is obviously the guy that's better.
Yeah, I sort of worked backwards into the position. And then I realized it made people so mad. It made them so angry, like livid. And the more livid they got, the more I realized, like, all right, there's something real here. There's something true here. And then I just stuck with it. And like, yeah, dude, I was alone on that hill. Like, a lot of people that like privately agree with me were not saying it in public. And like, I got cooked for it. And in the end, here we are now. What is it? It's only some March 2021. It's not even that deep in the present, like 2 months.
Dude, I love the Biden posters posting their, or I mean, the Biden voters posting their L's.
Yeah. Oh,
just
yeah.
What a fucking genius
I love
idea.
that account.
Whoever came up with that. Because the thing is, no, yeah, I seen some, you know, the Obama poster that says hope? Yeah, fucking, there was some meme where it was like an Obama poster that said hope, and then the next Obama poster and it said nope, and then Trump that said dope, and then there was a Biden poster that said cope.
Yeah.
And it's just holy shit, that is so fucking real. That is just like, how many people are looking at this shit and they're like, God damn, Trump would have literally been better. You know, it's crazy too. Back when the coronavirus was just happening, Trump, there was some article or some shit that came out where it said Trump was looking into nationalizing the healthcare system. Now tell me if Biden or any one of these Democrats would ever even think about that. Would they ever even think about fucking nationalizing the healthcare system, even for a little bit? It's like, fuck no.
Right.
Close.
Right. They wouldn't even say those things, right? Like he would say things.
He wouldn't even say these things
that they wouldn't even say, right? And it's like, you know, everybody goes like nitpicking about how he's not better or whatever, but like at the end of the day, like he cut the insulin prices. He wanted to do the $2,000 check. He forced Congress to be like, yo, I just want the 2,000 check standalone, no bailout. Do it right now.
We'd probably have more money with the COVID check shit through Trump, right?
No, as of right now, we do. You know, even the leftists were admitting that. Omar and AOC were like, this sucks that Biden's checks are going to less people than Trump and are for a less amount. The eligibility was lowered as well from like 90 to 75 or something. Like, so
what are these people not getting? Yeah,
that's why I was bragging mad hard, because I was like, dude, I told you guys this for 6 months, and now AOC, like the left figurehead, is basically saying like, yeah, shit, this is worse than Trump. But if I said it 6 months ago, I get killed for it. But if they say it today, it's okay. Like, you know, what's that about? You know what it's about? It's because I was right, and they, you know, they've got to protect their careers and their positions, and then it trickles down to all the sycophants that can't think for themselves. But I mean, look, this is I mean, the serious shit, that escalation, that was, I mean, it's pretty strong. And I mean, it's only the beginning. We're going to see more of that shit.
I mean, yeah, Biden's literally a war hawk. Yeah,
exactly. Trump at least had a base that doesn't like that. So even if he doesn't give a fuck if we go to war or not, he at least has a base that doesn't like that he's somewhat accountable to. Biden and these reptiles, they don't have a base. Their base is a bunch of, you know, freaks and ghouls.
I'm pretty sure one of Biden's like head people is like some black dude who is like head guy of Raytheon or some shit. You know,
right.
I mean, it's fucking insane. And then, you know, I remember whenever it was the Trump versus Biden thing, you know, fucking they're, you know, one of the whole things that a lot of lefties said was like, oh well, Biden has the upper hand with climate change. Okay, let's look into that. Biden's one of Biden's head people is someone who fucking works for this like giant oil company or whatever. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, even the few things that you guys think he has the upper hand on, he actually doesn't.
Right, like all the woke things, like, oh well, he'll not, you know, he'll be better on the border, and then then you find out, like, you know, within 2 months that, you know, he's still got them. He's building new cages, new facilities.
Yeah, but what do they call them now? What do they call the cages now?
Detention centers or something. yeah, and fucking
shit too. Is seeing the language change.
Exactly. And Obama built the first ones.
Yeah, you know, no, I mean? they used to call Obama the deporter in chief. That was his nickname.
Oh, yeah.
Because he deported so many of these fucking kids. I mean, more than other presidents. They had a nickname for this motherfucker.
Yeah, that's in my pinned tweets. It's like, so what are the reasons why Trump is worse? And all the woke reasons, like racism, sexism, and all that shit applies to Biden. So it's a wash, right? It's even, right? So then what are the economic
video
things?
Of Biden fucking falling?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh man, fucking, and then the one with him with the mics, whenever he's like hand is like floating over the mics, like the people think it's fake.
Oh yeah, it's a puppet government. That, I mean, you know how I feel. That election was rigged. In my opinion, it was completely rigged. It was blatantly rigged. And you know, I mean, this is the thing. It's like it's a puppet government. It's a completely puppet government. None of this is real. This he's not even really like on TV that much. Like he's tucked away. Like,
dude, the few times they actually do have him on camera, he's tripping over himself, or he's like fucking forgetting where he's at.
Yeah, Kamala is the president. Kamala is president right now. It's like the Cheney thing.
Yeah, literally, his people admitted that he can't talk for more than 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah,
they literally admitted that.
Yeah, it's like the Dick Cheney thing, like the fourth branch. You know what I mean? Like Kamala's running shit. You know, it's that's really what it is. I mean,
she's already president. You know, Kamala was fucking hella happy whenever she's seen that video of Biden falling. She's like, "Oh fuck, here comes my time to fucking hop in."
Kamala's gonna be in there by the end of next year. I mean, I don't see it going past.
Yeah, that. I mean, dude, this guy literally, the guy's literally losing his fucking mind. I mean, he's old as fuck. He's dying.
He was falling apart during the primary, and that was a year ago. So I mean, it's all downhill.
It's only getting worse from here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he literally admitted that he just wanted to do one term. He didn't want to even do the second term.
Right. Well, he said he'd be a transitionary president. He keeps slipping up and saying President Kamala. Like it's all there. And I mean, like people cope and like tell me like, oh no, he's just joking. I'm like, whatever, man. We already know what it is. I mean, like Kamala's gonna be there, and she got like 3% in the primary. Everyone hates her. And this is the thing. In 2018, I was telling people, yo, Kamala's the one. She's the one that the DNC is gonna slide in. Unpopular as fuck, but they're gonna get her in.
She's a woman
because she fits the woke criteria,
and she has absolutely zero material policies that will help people. So she's a perfect candidate.
She's a black Hillary, and she got murked in her. She couldn't even run in her own state.
In her own state,
she got fucking cooked. And then so she's gone, and it was Biden, and I was telling people like, there's no way it's gonna be Biden. Everybody's like, oh, you were wrong. And now at the end of the, after a year, I was like, shit, I was wrong. I thought it was going to be Kamala. And now I look at it, it is Kamala. He's Kamala, a meat sack. Right. He's just some meat sack sitting in that chair. He doesn't exist. He might be dead for all we know.
Right.
But either way, it's Kamala. It is Kamala. And in a year or two, you're going to be watching briefings from Kamala. I mean, that's just the reality of it. So.
Did you guys start your podcast before or after Bernie dropped out?
It was right it was before he dropped out. It was right around Super Tuesday. It was like March 2020, right when the lockdown started.
Oh, like no
right
shit.
In the thick of it, like right in the middle of it.
Yeah, I'm remembering that, dude. Yeah, that's fucking historical, dude. Fuck, looking back at it. No, and well, yeah, fucking seen that did you read that whole Alexander Reed Ross Dirtbag Left article?
I saw it, I didn't read it.
Oh man, dude, it is fucking insane, actually. Holy shit. I mean, dude, fucking who do you guys have on? He's fucking great. Jack, Perfume Nationalist.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even think he was very known. Like
was he mentioned in there?
Dude, he's like Amy said, she made a tweet about this. He is the most picked on motherfucker in the whole piece.
Really?
Yeah, dude, they have like 5 different quotes of his from podcasts like 2 years ago or 3 years ago. This weird motherfucker must have really listened through a lot of fucking podcasts and a lot of shit. But yeah, he's mentioned there a lot. And I didn't even know he's like, like Jimmy Dore is like actually pretty big. I thought Jack Perfume Nationalist is kind of more of an esoteric one of these guys that aren't very known. But no, yeah, he's mentioned in there a lot. No, dude, like I said, fucking, I think I texted you. I was like, dude, I'm surprised they didn't fucking mention you in this piece, dude, because they were
tight.
He was going after everybody, bro.
I was mad. I was skipping through. I was like, "Where's my name? Where the fuck am I?"
I know it's fucking. Well, yeah, dude, fucking, you are one of these few people, man, that fucking is leading this kind of this idea here. Because the thing is, fucking, there's billions of dollars against us here. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing too. Yeah. Like when I started running this meme page, like a lot of people that are more like normies, I'd say, they're more like not that into politics or whatever, but they still fuck with it. They're obviously anti-Obama, which is so crazy because at the time everybody was pro Obama, and it takes like years to look back on to go, oh, now I know, Obama sucks. That's the same thing that's going to happen with Biden. And 4 years from now, everybody's going to look back and be like, oh, fuck, Biden actually was shit. The same way they look at Obama.
Right.
But oh yeah, man, no, the fucking that article, that guy has had like 2 or 3 of his other articles like retracted because they just had so much like lies and bullshit in them. That I think that the people that even published his paper took them down.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, even years ago when people would be like Chapo's fascist or Bernie's fascist, it's just like, even then it was insane.
Yeah, that was the thing too. Now. They even threw Chapo in there, and I was like, dude, Chapo are just like basic Democrats. What the fuck? These guys are not part of the Red Brown Alliance or whatever fucking FBI or whatever CIA shit that they made up. This guy was just fucking sloppy with it. He kind of just threw Chapo in there too.
Oh yeah. It's all a joke. It's all a big joke.
No, yeah, dude. Another thing, fucking Jimmy Dore is the shit. Same thing with Tucker Carlson. Fucking that took me you said what?
Yeah, I like Jimmy Dore.
No, yeah, Jimmy Dore's the shit, dude. Fucking he fucking he gets a lot of views, dude. Fucking, we always talk about how like a lot of these theory guys too, or like a lot of people in the leftist circles are very insular in their little subculture or whatever. And they don't want to appear, they don't care about appealing to like the regular working people. And it's like, fuck, man, Jimmy Dore, if there's anyone that's doing that well, it's him.
Yeah. I was surprised to see, because I used to watch like Young Turks when I was like in the 2000s. Like I was really young. This is early Obama shit,
yeah.
like, when I was like a young teen. So when they were like mad about the Iraq War and all that like shit that I liked or whatever. And now, I mean, yeah, it's pathetic the way they've completely turned. But yeah, Dore, he's doing like similar numbers to them, I think. So, it's pretty amazing. But yeah, and he did the force to vote thing to expose AOC or whatever. I mean, that's
then AOC was calling him like a misogynist or some shit.
Oh yeah, it's the go-to. I mean, that's what's so funny, right? Is because these were all people that were called Bernie Bros a year ago, and now they're calling people Bernie Bros in so many words. Now they're like, oh, you're a misogynist. So it's like, when I was watching and like there was that beef between the Warren people and the Bernie people, I was like, wow, these people are libs. Like, our side is totally different. And then, now in hindsight, I'm looking at it, I'm like, or you look at like K-Hive people beefing with Warren people, and you're like, why are they even beefing? They're the same shit. They're all the same people. And I thought they were serious. And I mean, the Trump thing you brought up is a big thing to me. Is like, again, like a lot of the prominent leftists just full on endorse Biden or reluctantly or whatever, and claim socialism or whatever. And like, yeah, I mean, it's a big fucking joke. I mean, that's the majority of the left that endorsed Biden. That's, everybody knows that, Bernie, the squad, everybody. But the more edgy left people like Chapo and like, Jacobin or whatever, like, the people more on that end, like they didn't explicitly do it. But again, it was this thing of like, they stopped their criticism of Biden. That's for sure. That shut off. And what was it? Chad Hunter Biden or whatever, like, and all the criticism of Trump keep going. Right. So they implicitly show their preference. And, of course they're worried about fascism. There's little slips of like, oh, the fascist creep or whatever. They're feeding into that brown scare, which is a complete joke.
Holy shit, like the whole alt-right thing. Oh my god. Yeah, they made these guys look so much scarier than they actually are.
Oh yeah, now Richard Spencer,
so much more powerful than they actually are.
Exactly. Now Richard Spencer's cuck ass is he fucking endorsed Biden. Like that fucking, like, he's supposed to be this big scary Nazi, and he endorsed Biden. Like, he's a pussy. Like, and like, I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's so weird. It's so weird watching like the alt-right, the left, the neocons, the neolibs. Like they were all on the same side, and it was just the most bizarre thing to see.
Yo, you there? I think you cut out a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Am I on?
Yeah, it works now. It works now.
Oh yeah,
cut out earlier.
I was just saying. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I was just saying like it was so weird seeing like the left, the neocons, the alt right, the neolibs. They were all on the same side for a second. Like not the alt right, but I mean Richard Spencer or whatever. But like it was just weird seeing like that coalescing. It was very weird. And like again, like Trump's proven to have been better already in 2 months already. So
I know
the people that were
insane.
the people that are making this false equivalency of like, oh, it's equal. Like, I think they knew. I don't think it was just me. I think they knew, and I think them playing this like fence sitting bullshit was implicitly, for the DNC. I mean, they probably were more in favor of the DNC than Trump. So, I mean, again, like that's damning to me. I mean, look, if people don't see it yet, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you'll see it at some point, I'm sure, in a year or two or whatever. I mean, that's why I don't trip about it anymore. Like, people who get mad at me or whatever. I'm like, damn, I've seen it happen so many times. Like, in a year, you're gonna be damning me. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you were right. Like, so I don't really care. Like, we'll see. But I mean, it's pretty obvious to me. But yeah, they just yeah. I think there was just a lot of fake like fence sitting, and then as soon as Biden wins, all of a sudden they're saying, wow, that fascism thing is a joke. Oh, wow, Biden sucks. Oh, wow, all these activists are like part of the DNC. It's like, dude, I just saw you do that shit. Why are you trying to do this pivot like you're for real now? I just saw you. I just saw you walk over to the DNC. I just saw you do it. Why are you pretending like you didn't? So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that works on some like, room temperature IQ people. I mean, I don't know, whatever. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But I mean, yeah, I mean, every day it becomes more apparent that Trump was better. So I don't really have to do shit. I knew this would happen too. I thought it would take longer. I thought it would take like
me too, man. Yeah, I thought it would take at least a little, like at least a year or two.
Everything's accelerating. That's the thing. It's like things are happening faster.
Literally, people are getting information quicker. Fucking 5G. Literally, everything is going quicker and quicker. No, but another thing I want to ask you about the fucking misogyny thing too is like fucking what have you dealt with on Twitter? Like, you just can't be a public figure and say these certain things and be like, especially being like a straight man. I know like you have an anonymous, you're like anonymous. So oh Jesus Christ, I wish I did that. I fucking regret that people know my face, because I have gotten to I've dealt with, running this meme page shit too. And like, the kind of, anytime you're kind of anti-lib or you go against this $1 billion apparatus, you will see weird kind of like, people make up lies, a whole bunch of crazy shit.
Oh,
have you dealt with any sickos? What has that been like? Have you
I'm glad you asked that, because nobody's really asked me that, but I'd heard of it. I'd heard of like people like getting like rape threats and like and all types of like intense like death threats and all that. I was like, what? I was like, that's wild. I'm anonymous. I mean, I went on specifically being anonymous because I was like, I want to speak freely. And this is the thing. I used to be on Reddit, like lefty Reddit, and I saw how insane these people were. So I learned like when I got on Twitter,
dude.
I was only on Twitter for like a year. I only started like, end of 2019 or whatever. I was like, all right, well, I got to be careful, because if I want to be able to say what I want, I can't show my face, because these people are psycho. Like the leftists, like that stereotype of like incel right wingers that are like crazy or whatever. That applies to the left. There's plenty of incel left wingers.
No, dude, the people on the left are even crazier, because they feel like they feel like they have some kind of moral justification.
Yep.
Or some kind of righteous justification, dude. I have seen people say some incredibly gnarly lies and fucked up shit about me, other people. And it really is. It's just like, dude, you cannot say these certain things and just have like your face up. You know what I'm saying? People will go and try to find you. You know what I mean? That's another thing too, man. Is like fucking friends. And what, you're in New York, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, dude, fucking, I have a lot of, I go out there in New York. I have a lot of fucking friends out there and shit. And no, yeah, dude, people will go in my following list and find my friends and tell them weird shit. I mean, it is fucking crazy, and they're like, I've been accused of being like an alt-right fascist troll that's trying to infiltrate the left. I mean, I've just been accused of a whole bunch of crazy shit.
That's how you know you're good. I mean, if you don't get accused of that once,
I know,
then,
right? If you,
I know, I mean, you got to be accused of being a Nazi once.
Then you're not doing it right.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not even white, right? I'm black and I'm Asian, and I've been called a white supremacist on like Reddit because I was completely anonymous and no one knew who I was. And they just say like, "Oh, you're a honky" or whatever. So you know what I mean? Like, you know, I've been called Nazi, transphobe. I've been called a pedophile. There was one girl, this girl that like donated to the DNC, that like showed her tits to get donations for Bernie or whatever.
Oh my god, yeah. I think I know who you're talking about.
Right. That girl, whatever. And she like she just put me on some list that was like pedophiles.
Oh my
god.
You
know, some other people had said that once, and I was like, whoa. I was kind of like, damn, they can just
dude. The thing is they will just like, what's the worst thing you can possibly think of? Pedophile.
Right. But that's the thing. That's the thing. So they kind of blow their load early in that they kind of like they go to such extreme too fast.
No one's gonna believe them.
They kind of like take the wind out of what they say. Like they call
that's what they were trying to do to me too. Yeah, and then no one believed them. And then what they tried doing is just saying, "Oh, he's a misogynist, and some of his girls some of his girlfriends, you know, he's mean to." Right. Then it's just like, oh, well, then that's not enough to fucking. But no, they will literally try to get you with whatever, or try to just put anything on you. And, you know, sometimes they're so sloppy with it, no one's gonna believe them.
Right.
But
because if
you know what there always is, someone will say, "Oh, you know, CRK is this," and then everyone's like, "Man, I never liked that guy anyway. I never liked his opinions anyway." So they're just gonna immediately believe it.
No, they want to. They want to believe it. Oh
my god! Just no due process. Nothing, just absolute mob mentality. Fucking neoliberal fucking nutcases.
Their whole narrative about me is that, you know, I like Chapo, and the whole reason I have my entire politics top down, everything I believe, is because I didn't get clout in like left Chapo Twitter or whatever.
That's what they tried saying about Amy. That's what they tried saying. Oh, Amy's whole thing is that, you know, they didn't let Amy on their podcast, so that's her whole reason.
That's what's so funny,
which is bullshit.
Which is I mean, what's so funny is like it was the other thing. It was like I was a leftist, so I liked everything about the left. I like all the people in it, and then I realized the whole thing was bullshit. But that it's supposed to be that I'm like trying to get into that thing, and I didn't, and that's why I like worked backwards or whatever. But that's the thing is like what's so funny now is that I had like no followers. I was just a reply guy. I was just going around replying to people, trying to get people to look at my timeline. So that's what I was just doing. I was just collecting mutuals and all that, and in Bernie world or whatever. And then when I got sick of this shit and I was like, wow, this is all bullshit. And I just started speaking honestly about this shit and not biting my tongue to not get in trouble.
When you gained a following.
When, some people started to, I mean, I got a lot of hate before that, but like some people started to like it or whatever, or like relate to it or whatever, or tell me like, hey, I agree, I just can't say this publicly or whatever. So like that's when that changed. And now I see some people saying stuff like, oh, he's mad he didn't get to go on Chapo. It's like, dude, I was nobody. Like I was literally a nobody reply guy.
You weren't expecting to get on Chapo.
There was no world where they would even know who I was. Like that was not a possibility. So it's funny that the narrative, like you just watch the narrative change and all these people just jump on it. And I mean, you know, I just saw it enough times where I was just like, and at first I tried to fight against it and be like, no. And then I just realized like, it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't really matter. And like, they make up lies about all types of people that I know. And like, you know, and girls that are like, that like our show or like have been friends of the show, whatever, they
what's the lol cow thing? Or how do you pronounce it? LOL cow or something?
I don't know. I don't want to talk about it too much because like those people are like really psycho and they might be like, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it too much, but all I'll say is like, you know, there's like,
I don't know much about it. Fucking
I don't want to talk about it because
okay.
They're psycho.
Well, talk to me about it off mic or sometime or something. Yeah.
But the general idea is what we've been talking about is there's incels and femcels all over the internet. There's a lot of disaffected people, and they form these parasocial relationships with these media people, with these politicians, and they fall into this woke ideology because it makes them feel like they're a part of something, and then they freak the fuck out on anybody who, you know, pokes holes in it or shows that it's kind of bullshit. and they've like leaked news of like girls that are friends of the show, and like they've
oh my god,
all
really
types of anti-woke, sicko, misogynistic shit. They've done all this shit, but it's in the name of wokeness, so it's fine or whatever. It's just like, and dude, yeah, I mean, it's funny that you brought this up because very recently, like somebody was making up lies about me that I caught, and I was just like, whoa. I was like, they took like a quarter truth and just like turned it into something completely different. It was like a really blatant lie that could really fuck my life up. And I had to,
dude,
like,
they will try to fuck your life up.
Yeah, I had to nip it in the bud and like get the person to delete it through another party. But I was just like, I was kind of shocked. I was like, holy shit, man. Like, they'll really go that, like, they really hate me. They hate my guts.
Dude.
Like, all these elite people that are ruining everybody's lives every single day. Like,
I think it's like these people are powerless in real life. They're probably not very good looking, you know?
Yeah, sure.
And they just literally are like, they're just like, oh, you know, I'm nobody, so I'm going to go out and say this. It's not like anyone will believe it, you know? And then, well, it's like, dude, I don't know what the fuck they're thinking, but
I'm just saying, like,
insane.
All these people that are literally ruining all of our lives, they don't have a tenth of the hate they have for them that they have for me. How does that make any sense? I'm literally nobody. Like, I don't.
That's how I feel too. I'm like, dude, I'm just a podcaster that has barely put out any episodes. Right. You know, why the fuck are people coming for me?
Right. It's just like, like, where's your sense of? I mean, this is the thing. The left has always like been unaware of how power works or power dynamics. Or power structure. They don't care
power
about that.
blind, absolutely blind to it.
That's why
when they look at Chapo, they think Chapo's not running shit. You know, they're just absolutely blind to power. Yeah.
Or they think that some random white hick somewhere saying a slur is like, you know,
they have power.
Genocide. He's got power. It's like they don't understand it, right? But yeah, that's the thing where it's like they treat me like an Amy, like Amy's like pulling the strings on something. Like,
oh my god,
they treat me like I'm like someone important, and I've got no effect on anybody's life. But the people that do affect your life that I shit on regularly, nothing about them, like very little about them. It's completely bizarre.
Yeah, I guess what the thing is like, you know, if you can convince yourself that we're, you know, these people are convincing themselves that we're coming in and spreading fascist ideology and we want to kill Jews or whatever. And it's like, okay, if you convince yourself of that, then yeah, I guess it's like, okay, well, fuck it. You know, let's just make up lies about these people and try to get people to not listen to their show or not fuck with them or not give them money. But then the thing is no, we're not. We are genuine, honest, you know, leftists, people who thought, you know, who are leftists that just want to fucking point out flaws. And if you point out flaws, then yeah, they'll come for you. And the thing is too, is like with neoliberalism and this weird kind of this ideology that's being propagated in society, you know, with sex work and that kind of ideology. It's weird because they're like obsessed with sex, you know, with the sex workers and, you know, oh, genders and let's have fucking, what are they called? What are the guys who dress up? What are that called when they get on the
cross-dressers?
Yeah, but they go and they read books to kids and shit. What is that shit called? Where they're the guys who fucking drag. Let's have drag people in front of children and shit like that. Like they're obsessed with sex, but at the same time, if it's like a male and he's, you know, having sex with women and he's good looking, oh, they fucking hate that. You know what I mean?
They don't like intimate sex. They like commodified sex.
Commodified sex that's like being paid for.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right. Or there's some angle in it, like identity wise or marketing wise. Yeah. Yeah. It's a bizarre thing because I'm always like, they get so weird about like genuine intimacy, but like
did you see Peter Coffin and his girl?
Right,
when they posted that, everyone got so weird about that.
Right. Yeah. It's weird that it's just like proportionate, like that amount of energy for that, but then like, you know, like
when it comes to Bernie fucking you out of your COVID checks, you don't give a fuck.
Oh, right, yeah.
But some guy shares an alt-right meme and you want to go destroy his life. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, these people, they don't understand power, and I mean, they need to not understand it because that's what doing the bidding of the people in power does.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's for.
Exactly.
That's what it's for, is you need these people. I mean, if you're in power, right, you have to be in a minority. That's how the pyramid works, right? You're slimmer at the top. Like there can't be that many of you. So if that bottom pyramid turns on you, you're fucked. You're just fucked by numbers. Like there's not much you can do about that. The only way to stay alive is to obfuscate powers, to confuse people and not know.
Yes, they want to make you think. Yeah, they want to make you think the alt-right is like this crazy powerful force, and that they're not the ones running shit.
You know how many motherfuckers tell me shit like, oh yeah, like, you know, how much shit I've seen online where it's like, yeah, well, like I don't like the FBI or the CIA, but I want them to put down these fascist motherfuckers. It's like,
oh, the Capitol rioters, yeah.
Well, yeah, just in general, it's like, yo, the FBI and the CIA, dude, like, do you know those guys have way more power than any of those guys that was at the Capitol riot? Like,
of course, yeah, those are regular people, right?
Why would you side with them? Like, that's what it is. I mean, this is how you get people to do the bidding. It's the same. I mean, look, if you want to make a dramatic comparison, it's like the Holocaust thing. It's like the Jews are causing all your problems, not the fact that, like, you know, the rest of Europe screwed you out in the Treaty of Versailles and made you pay for all the damages of World War I. Not these people with actual power. Who it is just like Jews, just like
right, exactly,
Jews, right? This is the nature of power. Is like you need to obfuscate things and change the dynamic, and that's how it works. And I mean, yeah, I mean that's what they're doing. I mean, that's you need to do that.
The whole BLM apparatus in America, you know, they want to make you think that you know, middle America white people have power, you know, everyday poor people, and not these fucking giant corporations and shit like Amazon that are funding Black Lives Matter. And it's just, yeah, man, that's a really good point that you made, actually. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, like the liberal apparatus is really good at getting these large numbers of people to kind of just be blind to power and put effort in things that are, and put effort into people that just do not have power.
Yeah, like fighting over pronouns or whatever. It's like, okay, yeah, say you win that battle, say you win that culture war battle, say you get Aunt Jemima to change the brand or whatever. You didn't change anything power-wise. You didn't change anything for black people or for whatever. $10 billion went to BLM through Act Blue. Black people are still as fucked as before.
Just as fucked, yeah. Even probably more fucked, because now white people are even more pissed off at them. Well, yeah, you know, it's like they're literally just pissing people the fuck off. That's all they're doing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you know, and you spend that money to elect Kamala Harris, who locks up black people. That's her career, is locking up black people. So it's just like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, that's where all the BLM money went towards. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the power obfuscation thing. I mean, they have to do that. It's the only way they can maintain power and survive, and they need to do that. So they do it, and they do it well. I mean, there's people up all night being paid a lot of money to think of this shit, and they do it, and they do it well. I mean, you know, it's hard to break through that with most people. I mean, everybody's pretty PSYOP good. I mean, like, it's hard to break through that. And, you know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I try to talk to people about that, and like I think I irk a lot of people because I don't do right-wing id poll. Like, there's a lot of people who are in the post-left, quote unquote, brand or whatever that are like associated with me that do a lot of right-wing id poll, and I never.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? They do a lot of right-wing id poll?
Well, just talking about like family values, or what else is right-wing id poll? Or just like, oh, the looters in the BLM riots are like bad criminals and they're just evil people and they need to be locked up and put
like down. Maybe sometimes they'll bring up like you know, crime statistics for black people.
Yeah, that, or just like, oh, the Jews
or the Jews.
Yeah, of course, the Jews. That's always a thing. Or
you know, that's what they try to hit us with, is that, you know, we secretly have a lot of anti-Semites with us or whatever. But I haven't seen much of that, to be honest.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it. There's people who follow me who are about that shit. I mean,
no way, really?
Yeah, dude.
Well, you know, I've been going around telling people that that's not the case. You know what I mean?
No, there's people. No, I'm not joking. There's people who believe that. I mean, I got a weird medley of followers. I got some rad libs who follow me who kind of get what I say, but they're like super woke and think I'm problematic, but they still get what I mean.
It's always good to have a good mix of people.
Yeah, I definitely have.
No matter what, if you out and put out a public opinion, you're gonna have. It's like what Alex Jones said. It's like you're gonna have good followers, you're gonna have bad followers.
Yeah, I stick to the material thing, and I critique the libs. So like that gets me a lot of people, like hard left people, and it gets me some right wing people. And some of these right wing people, they're like, yo, you're soft on the Jewish question or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, or just tell me like, or they think I'm white or whatever. They think like,
bro,
I like, I'm like anti-white, or I'm like, I'm not pro-white enough, or whatever weird shit like that. I'm like, dude, do you know who I am? Like, you know I'm not white, right? Like, you know I'm not one of you. Like,
well, they fuck with you because you're Asian. They think the Asians are smarter, don't they? Don't they think the Asians are like the supreme race or some shit?
maybe it's that. I don't know how they do the arithmetic with my black side, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't really care. I mean, look, I mean, I'm just focused on the material thing. That's all I focus on. I just focus on that. But yeah, I mean, just the power structure and the money. That's it. That's all I talk about. That's all I focus on. And I try to demystify. I try to get rid of all the other distractions and the psyops. So I mean, that attracts a weird mix of people. But like, that's all I'm focused on. But yeah, I mean, yeah, these people are very confused, and I mean, I don't know what'll unconfuse them. I mean, they're deep in the brainwashing. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I used to believe that shit. I used to think I used to believe the right-wing scapegoat thing. I used to think that killing them was the only way for our society to advance. I really thought that. I'm unjoking, unironically, I believed that a couple of years ago.
Right.
I believe that. I mean, I was psyop like them. I was completely brainwashed, and I you know, I mean, I don't know. It just took some time. I was scared of fascism and all that. Like, it took some time to like.
No, because under the Trump era, man, that is going to be a thing when we look back and we'd be like, holy shit, these people really dumped a lot of money and resources into making us scared of like fascism or the alt-right or whatever, you know,
yeah.
When now no one's talking about them. Dude, there used to be literally like 5 articles a day about the alt-right. Do you remember this shit?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
And then now it's like no one even gives like a single shit anymore. I don't even think people are just like, oh yeah, jig's up, fucking, you know, you already knew we were bullshitting in the first place.
Yeah, man, the psyop machine, man, the mass shooting thing, and like you know, Me Too, and you know, all that stuff. It just comes up and goes away when
it comes when it's needed. Yeah,
because it's always happening.
They don't need it.
Yeah, because cops are always killing unarmed black people. That's always happening. Women are always getting sexually harassed at work. That is always happening. These things are always going on. Mass shootings are always happening, but they pick and choose which ones come up when it's convenient. So if Biden has Me Too allegations, that shit is gone. If
Trump has talk about it at all.
Right. If Trump has them and it's convenient to bring them up, you get a front
That's
page
all you
on
hear
Times.
about. That's all you hear about is grab him by the pussy.
Yeah, and that's the difference. Is like some people will tell me like, oh, none of that shit is real. Like racism doesn't exist. I don't believe that. I think, of course, I know it exists.
Well, yeah, the liberals, they own the media by far. I mean, it's not even a question when it comes to the media apparatus.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I just wonder, like, do people remember like terrorism? Do they remember these things? And then Russiagate, do they remember these things? It was like 24/7 on the news, and then it's gone. Do they ever start to wonder why that was there? And what frenzy it stirred up and what resulted from it, the COVID panic. You know, the COVID panic is going to be gone at some point. They're going to switch to climate lockdowns or whatever, but it's going to be gone. And I'm just going to be like, yo, do people remember the frenzy after 9/11, like the terror frenzy and how it justified the war in Iraq? Do people remember this shit? That's what I wonder is like, you got to remember that like they got people to agree to a bunch of insane shit. And then all of a sudden, years later, it's not a problem anymore. It just disappeared. Why?
Yeah, I mean,
Why?
yeah. Another thing too, you were really early on the lib pandemic shit. I mean, wasn't there some funny shit about right whenever Biden's elected, there are some stats that like, oh, all these numbers of COVID drop out of nowhere once Biden's elected, and it's like, yo, Biden just must be doing a really good job, you know. But it's like, no, it's all about how they fucking word it in the media and shit. And it's like, yeah, like, because, you know, so your stance is not that the pandemic's completely fake. It's just about how they utilize it in media, right?
Exactly. Is that
that's
real?
Another thing too that I had to like convince people. Yeah.
Oh, it's obviously a real thing, but it's completely exaggerated.
It's exaggerated, and it's probably they manipulate how they word it.
Yeah, the flu kills people, and there's probably a strain right now that's very severe and killing more people than usual. And they admit that they put secondary conditions as COVID deaths. So if you died from asthma or some other shit, they constituted they classified as COVID death because it might have been connected to COVID. If you had COVID, which might just be a strain of the flu, and you died because you had some secondary condition, they count the secondary. They count COVID as the main cause. Like, they admitted this. They're inflating the numbers. So I mean, the percentages have just been dropping. I mean, a year ago, I was telling people like, yo, when it was starting, I was like, yo, that fatality rate is going down because they haven't tested all the asymptomatic people. It has to bring down the fatality rate. And guess what? Over a year, it's gone down. The fatality rate as a proportion of who has it is gone down. And it's like, it's become a joke. I mean, people I've known IRL that were scared of it a year ago don't give a fuck anymore. Nobody cares.
Yeah, holy shit.
It's a complete joke. Everybody knows it now. Even lefties that were cooking me a year ago, even they've come around and they're like, yeah, this is not what I thought. And plus the wealth transfer, the insane wealth transfer.
Oh my God, holy shit. Yeah. Because, you know, everyone's sitting in their house using Netflix and and you know, another thing I thought about too is all the computers, you know, kids that have to do school from home, they put a laptop in their home.
Yep.
Now all these homes have federal, like, mandated public school laptops with microphones and cameras sitting in everyone's home. You know, has no one thought about that?
Good point.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I really think that the tech industry is behind a lot of this lib pandemic shit.
Oh yeah.
Did you coin that, lib pandemic?
I did, yeah.
Dude, you're a fucking legend, dude. I have to give it to you.
I'm kind of tight that it's not well known because I thought everybody knew that I came up with that, but I was talking to MK Ultra Money, and he was like, he didn't know it was me. He's like, wait, that was you?
That was you came up with that? Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I thought everybody knew, but I was just like, it's whatever. I mean, it's on the shirt. It's on the Fedpost merch shirt we did with
Gripshot. I gotta get one of those.
Yeah, it should come back, but it's like, yeah, I came up with that because, like, I saw, like, somebody tweeted like a nurse. You remember all the nurse valor, the first responder, like, respect the troops type shit with the nurses, and like there was like a hallway of Marvel characters like saluting like nurses, and I was just like, this is a lib pandemic. And I said that like April last year, and I kept saying it like whenever there was something crazy, some stupid shit going on with COVID, I would just say lib pandemic. And
no, yeah, I was always thinking, yeah, like you were the guy who made that up. Who coined that?
And then mad people started saying it, so it's like I should have fucking got a non-fungible token or some shit on that.
Yeah, right.
I should have patented that meme,
dude. No, another thing too. Fucking, I mean, you and Amy, you know, fucking, you guys are some of the more serious, and to me, like, who I respect, like political commentators. And you guys fucking started your career on Twitter, right? I don't know how Amy. I think she just started posting, didn't she?
I'm not sure. I think so. Yeah, I was just a fucking reply guy. I was just fucking nobody.
And well, that's the thing. Fucking yeah, I think we just have to keep at it with what we're doing with the podcast and shit. Absolutely. But yeah, it's been about an hour or so. So
yeah, I should go. But this was great, man. I really appreciate you having me on. This was
no,
fun.
Dude. I really appreciate you coming on, man. Taking the time to come on.